Hey guys, Drifter here. Today I've got some more Call of Duty World War II gameplay for you, and we're going to be rounding out our E3 coverage with a discussion of where the swastikas went in this game. Just an FTC disclosure, I was flown out to the event by Activision. They got me a hotel, and they allowed me to capture, but if you haven't noticed or heard elsewhere, there will be no swastikas in Call of Duty World War II multiplayer, and this is mighty strange for a game that is historically accurate and all about the European front. There will be swastikas in campaign, but not very many of them. They're going to be used very sparingly. We're mostly going to be fighting the Wehrmacht instead of the Nazis, and the question is, why? Is Sledgehammer Games all just a bunch of social justice warriors that are afraid of being offended? Do they want to rewrite history? Do they think Nazis aren't bad or maybe the good guys? And no, it's actually just legal reasons with an international release and the time and effort it takes to make multiple versions. It's kind of what I suspected all along, but I talked to a lot of people about it and got more or less the same answers from everybody. Germany has super strict laws about swastika use, and you do not get exceptions about historical entertainment either. So historical movies, video games, any of that, you don't get exceptions for use of the swastika. It's pretty much outright banned in the country, to the point where even a guy who made an anti-Nazi campaign of a stick figure throwing away swastikas in the trash got sent to prison because it still had a swastika in it. So Activision's not going to be able to kind of talk their way out of that one. On top of that, the European Union has stricter rules on the use of the swastika than the US does. The US has, well, almost none, mind you, given our almost unlimited free speech. And some of the other countries in the EU, along with Germany, have stricter regulations as well. There are some, we'll say, more regionalized cases in Southeast Asia. I don't know China's take on it, and I think one or two Middle Eastern countries also have the symbol ban. So if you're in Sledgehammer Games' shoes and you look at this, it's like, well, we can make the game we want and just load it full of swastikas, and that's fine for North America, and the rest of the world, well, they'll have to make do, or we'll need to get an exception, or we'll make different versions for Germany, and then a different for Finland, and then a different one for China, and a different one for all of these countries. And when you make different versions of the game, you're spending a lot of time, you're spending a lot of resources, you're doing a lot of different things where you, well, spending your effort, really, when you could be putting it into something different. You could be polishing the game, you could be working on lag compensation, you could be working on matchmaking, you could be working on zombies, you could be toning up the combat loops, you could be doing a lot of different things. And at one point, one of the devs said that they even considered looking into writing custom scripts for the game so that it will detect what region you're in and turn swastikas on or off by your region depending on its legality. But even that took a lot of time and effort to make, or would take, and then some of the countries judge the game not by what the players see, but even what's in all the subfolders and subfiles and hidden stuff, so that doesn't really get around the problem. And basically making all these different versions of the game that apply to all the different countries with all the different swastika laws was a colossal waste of time. So there was only one reasonable solution, and that was to almost exclusively junk the swastika and have you be fighting the Wehrmacht instead of the Nazis. And for, I would say, most soldiers in World War II, while there definitely were Nazis in the Wehrmacht, there weren't that many SS fighting. There was a lot more engagement with the regular German army than there was with the SS, so I would expect to see a lot more of that. And it's not the worst decision, but it's something that a lot of people have been talking about, so I thought that I would kind of explain it. Guys, that's all for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something useful. If you did, don't forget to like, favorite, and subscribe. Drifter out.
Fire